LCTV is your nonprofit community media station. Please donate at lctv.org to keep us strong. Thank you.
Hello everyone and welcome to this version of Talkin Town Talk. I'm your host for today's show, Larry Seidlinger, and we are at the band room on the Back Meadow Road in Damascotta, and with me is an old new friend, or a new old friend, Gerald Brand, aka Elton John, who's going to perform at the Lincoln Theater December 17th. Gerald, welcome back. Welcome to my little abode here.
Thank you. This is nice.
This is kind of cool, huh?
Yeah, this is very comfortable atmosphere for me.
Well, we hope to do it on the theater stage, but we couldn't get in this afternoon, so this is the second best. So you've had an incredibly busy 6 months, or 7 months, since Waldoboro. We had the Waldo Theater.
Yeah.
Tell us where you've been this summer.
Oh, it's been crazy. We've been all over the United States.
You have. I've been following you on Facebook religiously.
Well, we do a lot of shows in New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Pennsylvania area, but we also ventured out a little bit further this summer. We did Bristol, Tennessee. We played in Bellevue, Nebraska.
And that's a little ways from here.
A little bit further. Yeah. Let's see. Kalamazoo, Michigan. We like to play the states or the towns with the clever names.
Yeah.
So, we're still waiting for the Walla Walla show to show up. Maryland. Playing all over the place.
So like I tell the folks at home, in the trucking business, we'd call you a road dog. You really have been. You drive to all of these shows?
No. The shows that I just mentioned, with the exception of Maryland, we flew to all those.
And you get your equipment all out there?
Well, with contracts and everything, we have them supply all of the equipment.
Oh, cool.
So we just
How about the piano?
The piano's out there.
No kidding.
They supply the piano. They supply the guitar amps, bass amps, drum set. Everything.
Plug and play.
Plug and play. The guys just bring their guitars. You got to bring your own guitar.
Nobody protested on it. And tell us about your band. You're all still together.
Yep, still together. Been together forever. I mean, this is about 21 years now. We have, I can tell you all the members of the band as a refresher. There's myself.
Please do.
We have two guitar players. We have Rich Daigle from, he's lives in Greenville. We have Mike Tobias on the guitar. He's actually been with me, both of them, been with me for forever.
Well, Rich was a teacher, wasn't he?
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, Rich has taught lessons quite a bit. He has done a lot of teaching. He was living out in Salt Lake and did a lot of teaching out there. And we actually went to college together for music. So Rich was in my very first band when I was 14 years old. Actually, prior to that, 14 is when we started to actually get a little bit of money given to us for playing. But so Rich I've known him forever. What's that? 41 years we've been playing music together. And then there's Mike Tobias. I played with him forever and ever too. Played in different bands since '88. Mark Kavanaugh. I met him in college for music also.
He's your bass player?
Plays the bass.
He's the one that's teaches at Kennebec Valley, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a psychology professor.
Yes.
He's got his PhD, Dr. Mark Kavanaugh.
He's the one that figures you guys all out on these road trips.
Yeah, or tries to. I mean, we are a subject of probably numerous papers.
Too funny.
And then we have Kevin Ostrowski on the drums.
He's the meteorologist.
He's the meteorologist.
Which I had a chance to talk to him when we were at the Waldo backstage, and he just doesn't strike me as your meteorologist type. That's awful.
Well, I guess, he is about the most personable person you could ever meet. He actually isn't a meteorologist in the sense of he's standing in front of a green screen, pointing at different things. He's a meteorologist. He works with air quality with the state of Maine.
Yeah. Is he like the chief meteorologist or something?
Yes. Yeah. He's the big kahuna with the state of Maine.
That sits in the back of the band.
That's right.
That drives the bus.
He drives the bus. And in very literally drives the bus. He does drive quite often when we're out on the road. Yeah.
Well, after watching one of your shows, and like I told you when we sat down 8 months ago, I always knew who Elton John was, and he had a couple of great songs, but I didn't really know much about him. And when I saw your show, I was absolutely blown away. The quality of the music is second to none, but the showmanship, the entertainment value, everything that goes with watching a live show, you guys got it going on.
Well, thank you. I mean, the goal of the band, actually, the goal of a lot of the tribute bands is to try and play the music as accurately as possible. The goal of this tribute band is not only to represent the music, but to give you the greatest, the most authentic experience of trying to represent a real concert from Elton John. So we're trying to give you that entire thing, all the interaction, the antics, the sing-alongs. You know, we really, really have concentrated quite a bit on the show itself, as well as the music.
Well, I've never seen Elton John live. I've seen him certainly on TV a few times, but to me, you nailed it. You might have been lacking a few thousand people in the studio, in the audience, but you had some big shows. Tell us about your Mohegan Sun.
Yeah, we played the Mohegan Sun Arena recently, and I don't know what the final count was at this point, but we definitely exceeded 7,000.
But you thought you were going to just show up for some...
Yeah, well, I wasn't
for the Presidential Club or something?
Well, I mean, it was for Players Club members, for sure, and there's a lot of Players Club members. But I wasn't sure what we were going to get for an experience, if it was going to be like a regular... I knew it was in the arena, and that's gigantic. It seats 10,000, but I didn't know if they were just going to be setting, tables up on the floor. What kind of experience this was going to be. But it was just a full-fledged concert, and they came out in droves. It was great.
And the crowd went wild.
The crowd went wild. They were really enthusiastic. They sang along. They danced. It was a lot of fun.
That must have been a ton of fun. Are you going back?
I hope so. They seemed like they were pretty excited about working with us again. So we'll definitely be doing that if it comes up.
Cool stuff. Now you've got a really, to me, is a neat gesture on you and the band's part. You're doing a show in Lewiston coming right up.
We're doing a show for Lewiston.
For Lewiston.
Yeah, for Lewiston. I mean, with the recent tragedy that's taken place in Lewiston, which is unbelievable. I can't even fathom something like that happening in our state.
I think it blows every Mainer mind. I know if that doesn't have a profound impact on you as a state of Maine, nothing ever will.
Yeah,
I just can't get over it.
I mean, you hear about things like this happening on the news in other states, and it seems so far away from you. And when it happens down the road, and you're in a situation where you're locked down, where you're afraid, you don't know what's going on, you don't know where this person is, you're thinking about your family, thinking about your friends. It's scary, and I can't even imagine what it was like for the people that were there. It's beyond my comprehension.
Yeah.
But anything that we could do, we were asked to participate in.
So where is this concert going to be held?
It's going to be at the Snow Pond Center for the Arts, and that's in Sydney, Maine.
Oh, okay.
You can find information on it on our Facebook page or on our website, tributetoeltonjohn.com, which links to our Facebook page as well. But yeah, we were asked to participate in this by Dean Parker, who is a founding member of Wolf River, great band, and they're actually playing with us that night. And it was a very good idea. I'm glad that they brought it up, and that we get to figure out a way that we can use what we do to be able to contribute and maybe
pay it forward,
give a little relief. I mean, if you're any kind of entertainer, no matter what level you are, I think you have a responsibility. If you have any kind of success in it at all, you have any ability to reach a number of people that your average person doesn't have, then you have a responsibility to use that to help people out if you can.
Pay it forward.
Absolutely.
To me, there's no better feeling than when you can do that either, as a human being, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want there to be situations where it's necessary, but you just want to make people happy.
Sure.
But if you can give them relief too, I mean, you got to do that. You have to.
And this is December 15th, right?
December 15th.
And where is the place again? We'll put that on the screen anyway for the folks. Tell me where that was again.
Snow Pond Center for the Arts.
Okay.
And it's in Sydney, Maine.
So 2 days later, you're going to be at the Lincoln Theater in Damascus.
Yes.
Have you ever played the Lincoln Theater?
I have never played the Lincoln Theater. I'm pretty excited to go do that.
It's beautiful old theater. Acoustics are great. Be an intimate crowd. only seats 250.
That's
and folks,
great.
you need to get your tickets now because they're going fast. So tell us about the Yellow Brick Road tour. Where does it go from here? I mean, you really amped up your number of concerts and your road presence this season. Do you see yourself ever making a full-time go at this?
Jeez, you know, I don't know if I'd ever go full-time unless it's when I get to the age of retirement. Maybe I would utilize the music and go for early retirement and just enjoy myself and go out and play. That is something that's always been in the back of my mind. But for right now, it is, you know, it's definitely a good supplement to the income, you know, but we're keeping the regular job for insurance.
It's a lot of work too, though. I mean, you have a ton of fun playing, I understand that. Getting and coming and going is a lot of work.
Yeah, it's always been a lot of work. And I think the hardest part is the number of hours. You're on the road all the time. You're playing for hours. You're hours and hours away from your family. You know, sometimes they are able to come out, but, you know, we have jobs. We have, you know,
yeah, you all 5 of you guys are still working, right?
Oh yeah, everybody in the band is working. So we all have full-time jobs and we're all doing that. So that, you know, it's fun and we will continue to do it as long as it's fun. And it seems to be just getting crazier and crazier, so we love it. And on the note of where we go from here, our next show is at the Riviera Theater in North Tonawanda, New York. We've been there several times before. It's sold out every single time. I think we're like 11 or 1,200 seats, something like that. Beautiful, beautiful theater. It's about 10 minutes away from Niagara Falls.
Yeah, I was going to say the Buffalo area.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a haul to get out there.
It is.
But, you know, it's worth it. It's worth it to go out there and play. Chuck, who does sound, does a fantastic job. And he is a veteran of the entire music scene and really, really knows what he's doing. So it's just a pleasure to go out there and play.
Is that a 2-night or 1-night deal?
It's a one-nighter. But as I understand it, I mean, there's a few single seats left in the whole place, but for all intents and purposes, it's a sellout. If you plan on sitting with somebody you know.
That's cool stuff. Do you see yourself as in a solo act at any time?
I don't see myself as being a solo act formally, but I do play solo. I will do shows as a solo artist.
As a solo Elton John artist?
As a solo Elton John, or as just a solo piano player singer. I have done solo Elton John shows before, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of freedom in it. You can explore the music a lot, and there's some older, you know, deeper cuts that I haven't done other than as a solo artist, and so it's a lot of fun. I do enjoy that, and there's that relationship between you and the crowd. When you're playing by yourself, it's like playing in your living room, and you just talk to them, and they ask you questions, and it's very informal, and I love the way that works out.
So asking questions. After your last show at the Waldo, I had a lady come up to me and say, where does he get those costumes? And I said, I have no idea. A costume store, I guess. I don't know.
At the Elton John costume store.
Where do you come up with all these get-ups?
Well, I mean, I come up with them historically from Elton John concerts. These are the things that he wore. And when we started the band, we were primarily emulating the 1984, mid-80s time frame. Physically, my appearance is closest to that time period, and my singing range is closest to that time period. So we just kind of focused on that, so that a lot of the costumes are from then. The half black and half white tuxedo, the different tuxedos with tails, with the straw skimmer hats and everything. I was very 80s, so I have like 3 different versions of that. And then there's outfits that we have that go back a little bit further. If you go back to 1980 in Central Park, he wore a Donald Duck costume.
I was just going to say, where did you ever find a Donald Duck costume?
Well, that wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I actually got the Donald Duck costume from the warehouse from Disney in Orlando.
No kidding.
It was the only one they had left. It had to be modified. It had like this plush head and big white hands and everything, which you can't play the piano with white, duck hands.
No, well.
So those were cut off. The head was cut off. A zipper was put on it, to try and get it to look more like the one that he wore in Central Park. And he also wears an older style, duck hat, like a baseball hat, with a plastic bill and everything. And they used to have those in Disney back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, back in that time period. So I found an old one of those and used those as well.
Have you ever had the opportunity to interact with Elton John?
I've spoken to him. I've got an autograph. That was about it for personal interaction.
Does he know Gerald Brand?
I don't know if he remembers Gerald Brand, but he has had interaction with me.
Well, he's seen your show.
Yes, he has. When we performed with a symphony, it took about a year, but working through his personal manager in London and the one in United States, we managed to get permission to do a symphony show using his orchestral scores. And we were benefiting youth symphony programs and things like that, and he very much was supportive of that. So in that, one of the stipulations was he wanted a recording of the show.
Ever get any feedback on it?
No, I did not. Haven't even gotten a Christmas card.
Maybe he's a little scared that, you're going to be better than he is.
Well, don't have to worry about that anymore because Elton John is no longer on tour.
No.
He's still recording. In fact, he just finished up his most recent album, so I'm looking forward to that coming out. But I'm anticipating that maybe the fact that he's not touring anymore may help boost our show a little bit.
Oh, I can't help but think it would.
I would hope so.
I mean,
there's a lot of people
that love Elton John
him.
music. He didn't become the star that he is by not having millions of people appreciate his music.
Yeah, there were a lot of people that were a bit distraught that he was not going to be touring anymore. But, he's an older guy now. He's still very, very capable of playing and singing, but he's got a family. And I imagine he's definitely
if you could
put in
find a
enough
Billy
miles
Joel
and hours.
tribute, you could do a little piano duel there.
Yeah,
that would be kind of fun.
There are a few very good Billy Joel tributes around, and I have had exchanges with a few of them. I did do a show one time with a Billy Joel tribute. That was a lot of fun. They were on the same bill. We were playing for the 4th of July or something like that, and that was good. And I've worked a couple of times with David Clark. He does a Billy Joel tribute. He's out of New York. Does very phenomenal work. So if you get a chance, he did actually play in Bath this last Labor Day weekend.
Well, we had Johnny Cash just a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
And that was a great show.
Excellent.
Scott Moreau, I think you know who Scott is.
I know who he is.
Yeah, and did a great show. We had a great crowd, so we're really excited.
Excellent.
Do you ever get just the road is just a little more than I want to do, or you just...
Well, when you're on the road for, when you're stringing together 4 or 5 shows in a row or something like that, and you're out on the road, and you have to drive, it gets a little grueling. I think the actual riding down the road is probably more debilitating than doing a show, because when you're doing the show, you at least get an adrenaline rush. When you're sitting in the car, you're hoping to not get an adrenaline rush.
So you get some sleep.
Yeah, possibly.
As a couple of million miles in a truck, I always love starting out to get to my destination.
Yeah.
It was turning around and coming back.
Oh.
That was such a drag.
Yeah, that is tough.
I can appreciate when the show is over. It's like, oh my God, we got 10 hours to get home.
Yeah, but I mean, you can live on the adrenaline for a while. I'm still pretty ramped up from the Mohegan Sun show. But yeah, driving is pretty grueling, and the time you spend away from your family, that can be tough too.
Do you see yourself going in the studio and cutting a CD or an album?
I did that years ago. Mike Tobias, our guitar player, and I had worked on some stuff, and it was fun. I have kind of thought about it, had the bug a little bit, thinking maybe I'd record something, but I haven't really given it too much more thought than that. I am planning on doing a little bit of musical exchange with my daughter over the internet. We like doing that, so we have that planned.
Well, that's cool. Well, we're gonna have Gerald entertain you folks home with just a little preview of the Elton John show that's going to be at the Lincoln Theater December 17th. So, are you ready?
Yeah, ready to go.
Let's go. Let's do it, folks. Okay, folks, we're going to leave you with Elton John. We thank you for watching this version of Talkin' Town Talk. We're going to see you all on the 17th at Lincoln Theater, December 17th at 2 o'clock. So I'm going to turn it over to Elton, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
All right. Leave on wears his war wound like a crown. lost child Jesus, because he likes the name, and he sends him to the finest school in town. Levon likes his money. He makes a lot, they say, yeah. Spends his days counting in the garage by the motorway. He was born a pauper to a pawn on a Christmas day, when the New York Times said God is dead, how the war's begun, how the tall stick has a son today. And he shall believe on, and he shall be a good man, and he shall believe on in tradition with the family plan, and he shall believe on, and he shall be a good man, he shall believe on. Levon sells cartoon balloons in town.
LCTV is your nonprofit community media station. Please donate at lctv.org to keep us strong. Thank you.